And a look at our top stories. Time now to see what's making business news. Our editor, Catherine Francis Bennett, joining us on the set. Morning to you, Catherine.
Morning.
We're discussing these tariffs that Donald Trump has slapped on Mexico, taking effect in 10 days' time.
Exactly, and 10 days isn't a long time for Mexico to get ready for them. And the pressure is on because the US has also vowed to escalate the tariffs, rising from 5% to 10% in July, 15% in August, and up to 25% by October, if Mexico hasn't taken steps to stem the flow of migrants coming into the US. Mexico called the decision disastrous. And of course, it comes at a peculiar time, just as the US, Canada and Mexico are putting the finishing touches on their revamped NAFTA deal, now known as the USMCA, or the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement. Canada launched the ratification process on Wednesday, and yesterday the Trump administration followed suit by kickstarting the approval process with Congress. It also comes after the US lifted steel and aluminium tariffs on its neighbours earlier this month in order to speed up this ratification. But Trump's latest move essentially puts the whole process on ice. More news from President Trump. During his state visit to the UK next week, he plans to threaten to limit the sharing of intelligence information with the British government if the UK allows Huawei to build some of its 5G mobile network. The US has tried to impose a blanket ban on using Huawei's technology in 5G wireless rollouts, accusing the Chinese tech giant of spying. Meanwhile, tensions are rising in China as a result. Huawei has ordered employees to scrap meetings with US contacts and has sent American nationals working at its Shenzhen headquarters back to the US. Almost a month after Uber made a disappointing debut on Wall Street, things have gone from bad to worse for the company. The ride-hailing firm posted a $1 billion loss for the quarter, in line with analysts' expectations. However, revenue did rise 20% to $3.1 billion, and they also boosted their number of monthly active users. The company says it's keeping its foot to the pedal, planning moves into electric scooters, bikes, and even aircraft. Now it's time to take a look at the markets. Stocks in Asia were mostly down on Friday morning after manufacturing in China declined more than expected in May. The Nikkei plunged over 1.5%, and the Hang Seng Index was also down over 0.5%. The Shanghai Composite dipped just below the flat line, while the Kospi just stayed in positive territory. Over in Europe, major European markets opened in the red this morning after the Brexit warnings and with Trump's tariffs on the horizon. London's FTSE sank 0.5%, the CAC 40 almost 1%, and the DAX plummeted over 1.25%. The Confederation of British Industry has issued a warning to members of the UK's Conservative Party vying for leadership over the UK leaving the EU without a deal. The CBI said in an open letter to MPs that a no deal would inflict severe damage on both small and large businesses. The Director General said that the vast majority of firms can never be prepared for a no deal. This comes after UK car production plummeted in April because of Brexit preparations. Emerald Maxwell reports.
It was the sharpest fall in UK car manufacturing since recession hit the country 10 years ago. Just under 71,000 vehicles rolled off the production lines in April, down 44.5% year on year. Manufacturers blame the uncertainty created by Brexit in the run-up to the UK's original March 29th leaving date. To try and avoid disruption to their lines, firms like Jaguar Land Rover, Peugeot-owned Vauxhall and BMW brought forward annual maintenance shutdowns normally scheduled for the summer holidays. The Society of Motor Manufacturers and Traders say the shutting of factories was part of a raft of costly measures, including stockpiling and rerouting of logistics. They called April's figures evidence of the vast cost and upheaval Brexit uncertainty has already wrought on UK automotive manufacturing, and called for no deal to be taken off the table immediately and permanently. Car makers, including Toyota and BMW, have previously warned that no deal could lead to plant closures and UK job losses. Car manufacturing accounts for about 9% of overall manufacturing output in Britain. Currently, over 52% of exports go to the EU. April's fall in production is the 11th straight monthly decline, with previous falls put down to sluggish demand in international markets and the UK.
In a historic win for equality, JPMorgan is paying out $5 million to settle a discrimination case. An employee took the bank to court, saying that it denied him 16 weeks of paid parental leave because he was a man and so could not be his child's primary caregiver. The American Civil Liberties Union took on the case, calling it illegal sexual discrimination. And it's the first settlement of its kind. So quite a historic move for the bank, and also a little bit embarrassing for JPMorgan there.
Embarrassing, and you wouldn't think stories like this would still be happening. The first of its kind. All right, thanks very much, Catherine. Catherine Bennett with a look at the business news.